So yeah, we I know we've talked about this in the past. We talked about people taking pictures and recording things at concerts.
Yeah.
But I would be remiss if I did not discuss the dickhead that was in front of us at the concert last night.
We went to a concert last night.
We did.
We saw Mew, great band from
Denmark.
Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
Denmark.
I don't know why I said it like that.
I don't know either. I don't even know what it
That was your best
Danish.
Denmarkian impression?
Yeah.
I don't know what a Danish accent
Better than a
sounds like.
Swedish chef impression.
What province is he from? He's from Sesame Street, dumbass.
I've met Swedes too, and they sound exactly like that. 100% of the time.
So we're at the Mew show. That third voice you're hearing right now is our friend Jeff.
Hello.
Yay.
We were there last night to celebrate Sir Gary's birthday. He's an old man now. And we have people in front of us that are taller than us, which is pretty normal for Gary and I. Gary and me. Jeff is normally tall enough to see the stage, which is helpful for him.
Yeah.
But the guy in front of us last night decided he would not only take a few pictures, which I don't have a problem with. You want to take a couple pictures to remember your experience? Great. You want to take a short video clip to go, hey, you know what? I love that part. Great. This fucking guy took, like, in the first 3 or 4 songs, I'm not kidding, at least 30 pictures. And not only was he taking pictures, he was fucking texting them out as the fucking band is playing.
Really?
He's looking at the thing, he's taking a picture, looks down, and he starts texting them to people. Because you couldn't wait till after the show to say, hey, look at these great pictures I took. You needed to fucking go out of your way to not pay attention to the band you paid money for, to text your fucking friends.
Yeah.
If you were my friend, I'd say, look at the stage, put your fucking phone in your pocket, and enjoy the concert. Mm-hmm. The highlight of the night was we're watching, and this fucking guy's probably 3 minutes into one of the recordings. I'm not kidding. 3 fucking minutes. I'm looking over his shoulder, and his phone is blocking a giant section of the fucking viewing angle that we have.
Yeah.
And a little thing pops up and says, low battery, 20% left. And I literally started fucking cheering.
Oh.
He was probably taking so many pictures and sending them to so many people because the girl he was there with didn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, what was that about? He kept like trying to like touch her back, and then at one point, one point he's taking a
really
video.
Awkward touches.
Friend zone. At one point, he's taking a video and he taps on her to get her to turn around so he can video her in the video with the band behind him.
Yeah,
but it's so fucking dark, you can't see shit.
Yeah.
You just see this like black like mold of a head.
I was like waiting
a shadow.
for a flash, like, oh god, here we go. But the flash didn't come, and it was like, you're not going to be able to see her.
No.
But
No.
Well, we had the guy behind us that was taking pictures with flash the whole time.
there are multiple people.
You don't need to do that.
There are multiple people doing that.
I did see somebody that had like some funky like 360 camera.
Yeah.
That while I don't really agree that you need to film the entire show, it was the most unobtrusive camera that was used during the show. Yeah. Because it's just this little stick.
It doesn't have a
with
screen.
2 lenses. And there's no screen. There's nothing like that is distracting people behind you other than you're holding your fucking stupid arm in the air the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you're literally just your arms up the whole fucking time.
My arm would get tired.
Yeah.
After like the first song. Like,
what I was thinking though, like when we were sitting there and after the first couple times, I was like, man, I really want to say something to this guy. Like, hey, can you not? Because it's really distracting for everybody around you. And we kind of ended up moving away from him a bit. Yeah, which is fine. But I was thinking, I was like, you know, if I was to say something, I would be called a bully.
A bully.
And then I was like, well, maybe we need more bullies in the adult world. I'm totally against like bullying kids because I think that's wrong. I think kids are kind of learning where they're at in the world. But as an adult, I think there's a lot of things that you should have learned by the time you're 30.
I think
and you should be open to being bullied.
I think reminding someone to be considerate should not be considered bullying.
Oh, no.
It's not bullying. It's literally quality
control. No, you're
control.
right. You're right.
You're QC. You're quality control. Like, there's a certain level of fucking quality that we should be maintaining.
But you're
maintaining as a society, and you going, hey, man, you're not only blocking my view, you're probably blocking the person behind me as well. You're not bullying. You're actually doing a service.
Yes.
But you would be called a bully.
Yes.
But the issue is that you're probably right in saying that some people probably would consider it bullying.
100%.
Like,
especially in Seattle.
especially in Capitol Hill.
But I really could, since I was not, I don't live in Seattle, so I'm not super familiar with everybody there and how everybody would react, but I imagine it would not have been great.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think the thing that really irritated me though about him was after every song he would shout out the name of the song he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah,
play this one. Hey, play it. And it's like, oh yeah, they didn't pre-plan a set list or anything. They came here to take requests.
Yeah, no, they'll just go and play the song that you just shouted out, and the sound guy will have it ready, and the visuals will be ready to go. And
which is also probably one of their most popular songs, and they'll
play anyway.
Yeah. It's like, dude, take a breath, take a sip of your drink, try to hug your girlfriend who wants nothing to do with you, and they'll be playing it shortly.
And the final annoyance of the night was...
Oh, God.
A random chick just happened to squeeze her way in between all three of us, get like in front of Eric and then in front of me. And I don't judge people for the way that they move to music because
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm a terrible
dancer.
dancer.
I judge them for it, but I'm not going to shame them for it. But she had a weird, way of moving the music. And it was also almost hitting us multiple times.
Almost the whole time. I basically, the way she was wobbling, I half expected to look down after laughing and see a prosthetic leg and be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, right.
Oh, boy.
The reason I'm laughing is because I would not have been surprised. All right, let's play the music. How you doing, fuckers? Welcome to episode 21 of the Unreasonably Angry Podcast. My name is Gary.
My name is Eric.
My name is Jeff.
And we're happy to welcome you to another episode. Apparently, we can drink now that we're 21. So
Jesus
that's fun. Sorry, I just had to squeeze a really stupid joke in there before.
Jeff's like, what? The show is now 21, Jeff.
Really
it is
bad.
legal.
Yeah. That was really stupid. So what are we talking about today?
So I don't want to dwell on it for too long, and we try not to get too political on the show, but
Okay.
You guys are basically uncles. I mean, you're my daughter's uncle.
Basically, I am.
Yeah, you basically are.
Basically.
I actually am.
Gary, you basic bitch. Jeff is my kid's godfather. So you guys can understand some of the frustration I get. Granted, you guys usually help pull me back from the level of what the fuck. But
Is that where we're going today?
we're going a little what the fuck.
Okay.
I keep hearing this fucking word. Okay, let's roll back a little bit. This last couple weeks has been pretty crazy, right? We've had some pretty crazy political shit going on in the country.
Just the last couple months.
Well, but it's just,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Specifically
It's
the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're actually seeing people walk around with swastikas.
Feels like it's
about
about to hit over the brim.
Yeah.
Boil over.
The cup's been full for a while, but we're actually, now the table's starting to rock.
Okay.
It makes sense. Think about it.
Sure.
Better than the trailer rocking.
So we try not to talk too much about Trump or politics or those kind of things, but I mean, obviously
It's
the world is the
unavoidable.
world. Yeah, it would be really stupid to say we don't notice it.
Yeah.
With this last couple of things going on, we're seeing more divisiveness in the country. We're seeing people point at each other a lot. We're seeing people get lumped in together, and even Dan Harmon from Rick and Morty had this really epic rant yesterday.
What was he talking about?
Huh?
What was he talking about?
He basically went on a really angry tirade about how stupid it is that you even have to tell people you're not a Nazi now. The fact that it's even part of the world where hey, just so you know, I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi, but... And it's what the fuck? You have to say that in a sentence.
But you voted
now?
for Trump. You're a Nazi, right?
Obviously.
And that's kind of my point. This week, I saw someone that I know get harassed yet again, for voting for Trump back in November. And
Yeah.
the thing that's really fucked up about it is when you voted for Trump, if you actually think that person voted for Trump expecting, hey, in 6, 7 months from now, 8 months from now, we're going to see Nazis again and it's Trump's fault and I can't wait for that. Sure. Terrible if you want to give them shit. If you voted for Trump because you thought, hey, you know what? We've had 8 years of the left side. I want to see something different, regardless of your feelings on it. If that's what you thought, okay, you couldn't have even pictured it being this bad, racism wise. I mean,
yeah.
Some people could be like, no, I saw it coming. Okay, great. But to go out of your way to go, hey, how dare you vote for Trump like 9 months ago? Let me remind you again that you did that, which is kind of like, what the fuck? Like, okay, it's time to, like, we're all in this together. I doubt that they're sitting there going, yeah, this is cool. So that kind of made me start thinking, like, why are we pointing the finger so much at each other? And then I saw some article about white male cisgender patriarchy, which, granted, I keep hearing new words, but even now I'm like, what? Like, it takes me a second to like understand what I'm reading.
Patriarchy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this article, patriarchy was basically set up as like a violent oppression against other people, specifically trans people, cisgender women. Can you even tell me where the fucking cis came from?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I have no idea where the origination.
All right,
from.
shouldn't we know it since we are it?
I don't know. You asked. We didn't know.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
not that. I don't
Not that
know.
it matters.
Well, so patriarchy is, like, by definition, is like male, like, leadership,
Yeah.
right? And like whether it's a head of a family,
social structure,
Yeah.
by definition,
and it has to do with it also has to do with like line of succession or
Sure.
familial lineage.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, so the dad in back in the day, the dad was the leader of the household. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've come a long way in that for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's some places where men are still dicks and are like, oh, you have to listen to what I say, but no one I know is like that. But
Yeah,
I was
okay.
reading through this article, I'm reading it, and it's basically going on this long list of things that men, especially cisgender white men, are socially almost like trained. We're like molded to be violent and
Yeah.
oppressive against women.
Or just like inherently that way. Or
Yeah.
something.
And
Yeah.
it said like as cisgender men, we need to be aware that we have been ingrained with these habits and I'm literally reading this going, what the fuck? Now, in the article, it does say me saying what the fuck is actually violent and oppressive,
Right.
which I guess I'm not allowed to speak at all.
That's how they get you. that's how it like they make it so that you can't say they're wrong.
you're
They're
obviously
always in the right
trained-
if yeah.
You're obviously trained to react that way to an opposing opinion to you being a part of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
It's
Now, the thing that got me is I thought about that, like you said, it's kind of like a booby trap,
Right.
And I don't say booby trap to make it a feminine trap. It could be a pee-pee
And
trap.
it's not exclusive to that.
Yeah,
I
men
mean,
have
many-
boobies. Men have boobies. So
It's true.
Some men
No,
have
I
boobies.
just mean I mean it's that type of trap or whatever.
Yes.
It's not exclusive to just this article. Like that's how like
Well, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me
political
of when you take
leaders
those,
like state their views and stuff, and then they just make it so that no one can oppose them.
well, it's like when you'd go to like a psychic, like when people call themselves a psychic, and they go,
Yeah.
you're like, you've had some trauma in your life. You've lost a family member.
Really?
Like my grandma died.
Wow.
She was 97. That was really hard for you. Like, but it works for everyone. Like you
How
flip
did
over
you know?
You flip over a tarot card or a tarot card or whatever it's called, and it's like, this year you will have a change in your life. Ooh, I wonder what it could be. So
Hey, how did this person writing this article know that I'm inherently violent and abusive because I'm a male?
Now, the thing, okay, so I want to preface this. I was listening to Bill Burr this week, as I always do. If you don't listen to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, you absolutely should. It's amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I laugh every week. Every week it makes me laugh. He just rambles about things that pisses him off, and I love it. And somebody wrote in, and he was talking about basically kind of like what we're talking about right now, which was somebody was like, well, how am I supposed to feel about this, being a white guy? And he kind of said, well, it's tough because you can't really bitch because you're a white guy in America. So, I mean, you really do have an instinct, like a leg up automatically. He's like, but that doesn't mean you can't have feelings about it.
Right.
And so that's the thing is it's such a tough area to maneuver because people, if you're an open-minded person, you want to hear how things make you feel, right? Like I don't discount somebody's opinion because of who they are or what they are. Like when people go, oh, he's rich, he must not have any problems. That is such a fucking ignorant statement. Like you hear people say that. Like, oh, they have all that money. What could they possibly be upset about?
Right.
Okay, I don't know. Ask Chris Cornell. Ask Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
You're telling me that just because they were wealthy and famous, they didn't have anything going on?
Yeah.
And then what happens is when those people kill themselves, when they, go through these tough things, suddenly everybody's sympathetic to it. But if it was a normal person that wasn't a celebrity, it'd be like, well, he was just a rich guy anyway. And it's like, wait, what?
Well, the part of the article that I like, the closest I would agree to, the closest thing I might agree to is that I understand that as a male, there are things that I can't necessarily like understand or relate to or sympathize with. And so like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the part where it's like telling me who I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm a male.
Yeah.
Like, it's telling me I'm inherently violent and abusive, even though I was raised by a single mother without a father figure or even a brother. And I was raised to treat women with respect, and I do. So, and I would never, ever, ever think about being violent towards anyone, let alone women.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying is that's the point I'm making right now is that I understand by discussing this, there will be people that are like, well, you're just a white guy. Like you're complaining about nothing. It's not a real problem. Sure. Take it. If that's how you feel, fine.
Okay.
What it does mean to me though, is I'm in the same boat you are. I was raised by a single mother. It was me and my brother growing up with my mom. I don't understand why anybody would just inherently... Now, if this guy writing the article thought to himself, this is who I am, I'm a violent person, or I've noticed traits about myself that make me oppressive or violent towards women, okay. But when you start saying we as a people or we as cisgender men have to realize that what we're doing is it's like, well, maybe, is it possible you're a piece of shit? Maybe I'm not?
Yeah,
maybe the reason my amazing wife loves me and agreed to marry me and have 2 children with me, both being daughters, and isn't concerned about me raising them is because she knows I'm not a piece of shit.
I would also be interested to know the author's relationship history and if they're a father or not.
Yes, of course.
This might be relevant to what they're talking about, but I don't know.
I think people project a lot onto other people's situations.
Yeah.
So they project their own opinions and their own experiences onto, say they see a single mother in a grocery store. And because they, were raised a certain way or have these certain opinions, they'll project their own opinions on that person's situation when they really have no insight into the other person's situation in life and how, maybe they're a single mother, maybe they're not, maybe they're, who cares?
Yeah.
It's worry about yourself and worry about your own reaction to, situations or confrontation and the way that you approach other people, and stop worrying about others' approach.
Well, and that's such a great point, because what I read this now, somebody could hear what we're saying and read this article and go, look, you're exactly what he's talking about. You guys are doing it. No.
It's the trap again.
I am the exception that is making the rule, right? That's how that works. You're basically saying that it's rare for that to be the case. Well, so if we're the exception and you're assuming that the rest of it is the rule, you're discounting the possibility that maybe it's not as bad, either A, as you say it is, or B, that maybe we're becoming more progressive as a people and you don't realize it because you're so stuck in the negative side of what we're seeing. But the best way to show that is to live it. Going out of your way and telling somebody, like, there's a difference between saying, hey, you know what? As time's gone on, if you look back at history, there are things we could have done better. I want to be one of those people that sets that example. If you're saying that, I get it. If you're saying, hey, we as a men need to be aware that we're this and that, and you're fundamentally, and you're now not saying things from what I think, you're saying we are, you are, we need to stop being racist. You're assuming I'm racist by saying that.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a good person and leading by example that way. People always want to talk about how they want, like, we want new leaders, we want strong leaders, but nobody wants to lead. Everybody wants to sit on a pulpit and spew things out and find somebody to do the leading for us.
Yeah.
Standing there and shouting is not leading.
Well, so that brings me to something that I've been thinking about, which is a bit like more macro, is that there seems to be a trend of people writing opinion pieces as if they're fact.
Yeah.
Like, people who have opinions and see the world a certain way. And I'm not saying you can't write an opinion piece. Like,
yeah, go for it.
It's an opinion piece,
and you can have an opinion on that opinion.
But yeah. But when you're not like, you don't study sociology, or you don't like, don't actually know really what you're talking about, and then you spout this. I know that sounds negative, but I view it as negative.
We're
when you spout this stuff at people and say that it's like, say it as if it were something true that you need to live by.
Yeah, you're saying something. You're forcing, like, saying you're coming from a position of authority on a subject when it's really just your opinion,
which
like,
in actuality is defeating exactly the point this person is trying to make. If you're saying that the patriarchy is an oppressive and forceful thing, and yet you're being forceful and oppressive in the way you're presenting your points, it doesn't exactly, like, it doesn't negate what you're doing. It doesn't make you look better. Yeah, it's kind of like what we talked about. These fucking Charlottesville things are awful. They're nobody in their right mind is going to say it's great to see a swastika on an American flag. No. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. When I see it, I just immediately think that those people are less intelligent. I just do. I go, something's wrong. Like, either they're ill-informed, they're not educated properly, or they've never had experience with people from a different race or color.
Or they're doing it for attention.
Yep. And let's say there's 500 people out there doing something stupid, right? Yeah. If you're the one person that goes up and punches someone, or you're the one person that goes up and like shoves someone, it now becomes, they are no longer going to listen to what your point of view is, even if your point of view is correct, because you're attacking them in a way that makes them feel like they're the victim. Well, when you make the enemy or the villain the victim, you lose all credibility.
This is going to sound ridiculous, but America didn't get involved in World War II until Japan hit them in the nuts. And they were like, I know that sounds like insensitive.
I get your point.
But really, like, they were like, yeah, terrible shit is happening, but we don't want millions of our people to die too. Right. But then when they brought it home, and when Japan brought it to the States,
we were like, we should probably,
fuck you, we're gonna, be involved now.
And now I get it.
But it's not like America just went up and punched Europe in the face, like, fuck you, we don't agree with you. Yeah. Like, I mean, America's done that before. See Vietnam War, but like, still, it undermines your what you stand for if you go and punch those people in the face.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing, is I've been watching a lot this week, and I try to, I mean, I don't know. The weird thing is people get so mad if you don't get involved in these conversations, if you don't get overly political. But the thing is, though, is because people get so entrenched in their ideas, and they're so entrenched in their ideologies and how they feel about things, and so passionate, that if you don't agree with them to the extent that they feel, they can still take that as a slight.
And it makes them harder to talk about politics.
Exactly.
And they're the ones who want you to talk about politics.
Exactly.
It's like, can you give me a court to play in? Like...
Well, I mean,
you want me to play with you?
We've had conversations where people go, you don't understand. You don't know what it's like to be a minority. And it's like, no, I don't know what it's like to be a minority, but some of my best friends are, and I watch how it affects their life. So, I mean, the funny thing is I've had that where people that I know that don't really have any minority friends are the ones that they're telling me that I don't understand. Yeah. And then it's like, dude, some of my like really good friends are, so how do you know that I don't know? It kind of goes back to what this article's talking about. And it's like, oh, well, you don't know what it's like to be a woman. No, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. But one of the things that I think makes me a decent husband is the fact that I ask my wife. We talk about stuff. Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what you're saying. You literally said the words that I would have said myself. You were raised by a single mom, and you were taught how to understand and communicate and understand emotions and have respectful conversation and not just be disrespectful. Yeah. That's all it takes. Now, if you're going to say that by talking about things and trying to understand each other, that's not enough, then I can't do anything. Yeah. Like, you can't paint me in a corner where I can't help one way or the other. But as someone who's trying to raise two little girls to be strong women, to just assume that my ideology is, because I'm a cisgender white male, that my goal in things is to consistently be in the... I mean, the word supremacy was used in this article. Right. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Like, your objective in life is to oppress all people around you.
Well, that goes back to our last episode about hyperbolic statements.
Jesus Christ.
But no, the other thing I was going to say is that I think it's ridiculous that there's this, like, apparently in our society, there's this thing where you can write about a certain group of people, but they can't talk back about it.
Right.
Like, they have to just sit there. They just have to sit there and take it, and they can't say anything back.
Do you mean
because
like if somebody says something about white people can't say anything because they're
Right.
in the majority?
Like,
of thing?
well, like, yeah, like if you were to say like, well, this article is talking about like males, and if we were to do what we're doing right now and talk about the article on the podcast, that's like we shouldn't be able to do that because, well, okay, let me use another example. Like we were talking about people judging people for voting for Trump.
Sure.
Like, apparently it's part of society. Like, there's this construct where if someone were to say ignorantly, you voted for Trump because you think because you support racism or you support sexism or you're xenophobic.
Yeah.
And if they were to say, well, no, it's actually because I lost my job at this plan and I heard he could like boost the economy and give us more jobs and blah, 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 then they're not allowed to say that because it goes against what you're saying about them. And you're the right one, I guess.
And that's kind of why
I don't understand that.
And that's why we've avoided it.
How are you supposed to be able to talk about someone if it's not going to be a two-sided conversation?
Yeah.
You're not going to learn anything from
especially in a world right now where what we're constantly reminded of is inclusivity, like including everybody and everything, being accepting of people for being different.
Yeah.
And so when someone has a different political opinion of you than you do, then that's off limits though. Like you're not allowed to. Like if you have a different political opinion, it's not that you have a different opinion, it's that you're wrong. And it's like, okay, like I understand that you live, like, and some people do. Some people legitimately live in an echo chamber where they only surround themselves with people that feel the same way they do.
Yeah.
And you get yourself so worked up that your side's the only side that's right that you go out of your way to tell everybody else they're wrong. Now, who does that sound like? Does that not sound like the fucking guys in Charlottesville?
Right.
Hey, we all have convinced ourselves that we're right. Now, people don't like that. People aren't going to like that. Don't compare me to a Nazi. Well, you compare everybody else to fucking Nazis.
But it's not, and it's not just about them being Nazis. It's just the way that they're like propagating
exactly.
Their
it's that
views.
hive
It's not
mind.
about their views. It's about the way that they act.
Towards others.
I think it's interesting because so you bring up the echo chamber, and that's something that you see a lot of, and there's a lot of sides to that, but like specifically like the what happened in Charlottesville. So you have these people that for years, don't kid yourself, like these people have been around for years.
Yeah.
And
not since Trump got
like
elected.
Decades.
Let's
right? Like they've been around for decades.
November 8th, 2016, they're like, oh, you know what? I think we're Nazi now.
Okay. I'm just suddenly going to act this way.
We get some tiki torches.
So these echo chambers have existed for decades, and like the internet and the way that you can easily find your own digital echo chamber that you immerse yourself in, whether you are on either side, you're the minority hating Nazi or the ultra bleeding heart liberal. Like you can find your echo chamber and you can reinforce your own ideas because you are taking bias into those situations.
Yeah.
And then so these events happen, these rallies, and we then give them a platform.
Yep.
Yeah.
By like that's why they're there. That's why they're rallying is so that they can have a platform, like a media platform to like one of the things that I saw that somebody said is like, we're here to show the rest of America that it's okay to think like us.
Yeah.
And like, think about that, how fucked up that is.
Yeah. And you're like, you put that person on the internet.
Right. You are just reinforcing, you are adding to the echo chamber. You're making it okay.
I think the example that I used, it's a gross analogy. Like it's not the same at all. But if you go to a sporting event or you're watching a sporting event on TV and somebody streaks through the stadium or somebody tries to go up and touch one of the players or just run from the field, they immediately turn the cameras away.
Yeah.
They tell you what's happening.
Right.
They say, hey, this person just ran on the field. We're not going to show you it because we don't want to encourage that kind of behavior because all this person wanted to do was get on TV.
Right.
So if you're going out of your way to send your best news reporter out to the thing and videotape these people walking with, we need to come back to the fact that why the fuck do they pick tiki torches of all things? Like they're the thing used for summer luau's and barbecues.
Yeah.
Like that's really menacing.
Yeah.
But you have these guys going out there and doing this and they're looking for attention.
What the joke is, the best way to discourage them from that type of behavior is to just we wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Like just not put it.
The thing is,
not put it on the media, not put it on the internet, not broadcast that on media, like
Yeah.
just
This
if
thing
no
happened.
one knew that it happened besides them and the people like on the block,
Yeah.
like then they wouldn't keep doing it.
I mean, it's another disgusting
What was-
analogy. I love coming up with analogies that are really not appropriate. Let's say
Okay.
you had a little brother, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're 10 and your brother's 3.
Okay.
Okay. And your brother that's 3, let's say he's a little slow. Like he's just not, he's not developing yet. Like he's not quite socially, he's not figuring it out.
Okay.
dumb.
And he's coming over and he just keeps poking you.
Yeah.
And poking you and poking you and poking you. And you're like, dude, stop poking me. You're doing bad things. And then you see him shit in his hand and he starts smearing it on the wall. And you're like,
Okay.
wow, that's really gross. Stop doing that. And you're like, he should know better, but he's still doing it. Would
Right.
you haul off and punch him in the face? No. Would you videotape it and post it on the internet? Maybe if you're on 4chan. But you wouldn't normally do that because that's not helping the behavior.
Yeah.
If you ignore him, he'll eventually go, well, this isn't working. This tactic isn't working.
Yeah.
And they stop doing it. Now, I'm not saying that if we stop talking about Nazis, they're just going to go away.
No, absolutely
But
not.
if you go out of your way to, hey, what you're doing is really riling us up, they're going, yeah, we're pissing them off. Look how many people we
Yep.
got here.
Yeah.
We're on Huffington Post. It's like,
Yeah.
Jesus. Now, if all that we saw was a news reporter over the side go, hey, this thing is happening here. We're here to show you that we're here. We're not going to show the people there because we don't want to encourage this behavior. But it's important for us to let you know that this is happening.
Yeah.
If that happened, or if it was in a fucking newspaper, I mean, how shitty would they feel if none of the internet sites covered it and it was only on print ad? You guys want to act like it's 1940? We're going to treat you like it's 1940. It's only in print ad.
Speaking of 1940, Jeff, what was that example of the German town that?
Oh, so well, you know, I don't actually know if it's true or not. It's just some article that's been floating around on the internet. That
The
I
idea
saw that
behind
was like,
it is true, though.
it is.
No, I just mean like the idea of.
Oh well, yeah. The idea it holds true to exactly what Eric is saying. Of apparently, so it was a Nazi leader. There's a town that he grew up in Germany. That there are Nazis or the white supremacists that go and like do a march or something there every year to commemorate his birth or something.
Okay.
And so in order to the town didn't like it, and in order to combat it, what they started to do is do fundraisers and like charities around the march, so they would get people to donate money, and the distance that the march got, like, so it was like a fun run kind of thing. So if they marched like 100 yards, they would raise this much money, and if they marched like 6 blocks or something, they would raise more.
So they basically got it.
And they donate the money to the anti like Nazi groups or Holocaust
Survivors.
groups and stuff like that.
Fucking brilliant.
And
So-
they turned it into like a good thing.
So,
And you're like,
in
if
other
you-
words, if we were to say for every tiki torch sold at a Walmart in Charlottesville,
That's what the
we're
Tiki
going to-
company should have done. Is
we're
like,
going to
we'll donate
Yeah.
$100 for every Tiki torch that we see used at a rally.
We'll match
to,
our
Like a black
profits.
college.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
a black
to the
college.
NAACP
Oh my
or-
god, that would have been
Or the
amazing.
LGBT community.
No,
Yeah.
we'll match your profits.
Yeah.
We'll match our profits for the Tiki torches and
Right.
put them towards the Holocaust Museum
Yeah.
in DC.
Well, not, and really quickly, just to clarify,
Wow.
just to clarify,
That would be amazing.
It would. Just to
Well,
clarify.
they'll get a different type of.
I
torch.
realized in my story
Yeah.
that the 3-year-old didn't have to be developmentally disabled to play with its poop or poke you.
No, it just had to be 3 years old.
Yeah, but I also thought that the way that people do look at this group is that they are a little
Right.
little behind the times mentally.
Right.
That's all my point was, just not putting down 3-year-olds because they're
Well, they just
you know, you
they're
get it.
somewhere along the lines they got misguided and
Yeah.
they were like vulnerable enough to believe in something that's really not.
And who knows, maybe they're still into fun with feces. Maybe they never grew out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's going to be enough for
Yeah.
our political
I think
chat.
we're good with that.
There's one other little thing that I want to
Okay.
talk about because
So what I said was wrong.
Pisses me off. So talking about digital echo chambers,
Yeah.
I really, really hate the idea that, so if you're using social media, you're on the internet, you have a digital presence, you are giving up data every time you're on the internet, And even if you have your phone connected to wherever you're at, you're giving data that is being used to sell you things and show you information. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was like the thing that somebody brought up the other day when we were talking of like, oh, well, somebody was talking about something and then they got a pop-up ad or an ad on a site that they were looking at from Amazon on the thing that they were talking about. Not even like searched it, not even like typed it in because they have a Amazon Echo in the room that they were in. Which is
about a foot away from me right now.
Yeah, we're probably on some like watch lists.
Which like,
and I also said 4chan. I should have said they posted on Reddit, and they're like 4chan and racism.
But thinking about
hey, Alexa,
how fucked up is that?
Hey Alexa, stop listening to us.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh, she's not even connected.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
And I'm not somebody that is I'm like, oh, I want to go off the grid. I need to disconnect. I give all that shit up too, and I don't, whatever I see, I talk about like motorcycle stuff, and then the next day I see ads for motorcycle gear. But the thing that has been on my mind recently is like the ethics around data and the data that you're giving up, and I don't think people actually really understand what they're doing and what they're giving up day to day. And I think the government is a bad body to actually try and govern that because they probably understand it less.
Yeah. Well, that definitely. And they want it. They benefit from having that information.
Yeah. Well, net neutrality has definitely showed us that.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't deal with tech stuff.
Yeah, but it's been something that I've thought about lately, and I just the idea that digital echo chambers around the stuff we were just talking about.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that that kind of ties back into the article that we began talking about. Like, you look at the comment sections on it, and it's like, yeah, you go, or yeah, this, and it's like, okay, so instead of posting this and showing it on a website that really only people that agree with you are going to see, why don't you go have a conversation with someone? Why don't you go talk to somebody at a women in crisis group? Yeah, go if that's actually how you feel, go start something.
Try listening more instead of talking more.
Exactly. And I'm not saying it's right to be a dick. You know what I mean? If you're a shitty guy, yeah.
Right.
Are you doing anything? Do you know why that person became the way that they are? Do you know why? Like, I can tell you the reason that I am so against women violence, like violence against women. I watched it growing up. I saw it. Like, I saw really fucked up things happen, and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to live a life like that. Well, and so if you don't know why someone is the way that they are and you can't understand, then you're still blanketing them. And in a time right now where people don't like being put into a box, or, oh, you don't label me, or, oh, you can't just assume what I am. You just assume that someone is a cisgender white male, is a part of the patriarchy, is doing exactly what you're arguing against.
Yeah.
Anyway. What? Are you recording?
Now I am.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay.
So Jeff doesn't like corgis.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I fucking hate corgis. Okay, hate's a strong word. God. I just dislike corgis. I don't know. I don't like them. I don't want one. I think their short, stupid legs are stupid, and their fucking stupid butt that wiggles when they walk is stupid, and they can't run upstairs very well.
You're describing me right now, right?
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Why don't you
shorty ass legs.
Go buy some fucking Tiki torches.
No, God. Yeah, I'll start a march against corgis. They just they became so popular as well, and maybe this is because where I work there's a bunch of people with corgis, and maybe that pisses me off.
Are you doing a get off my lawn? Is that what this actually is?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind them before, but I hate them now.
I don't know. I get that people like them. They're soft, and maybe they're nice to some of those people, but I just don't like them.
Is it like the shape? Like,
they're short and little. I don't like little dogs very much. They're not really a little dog. They're like a medium dog.
I know someone with like a not a wiener, but what's the other one? That's a Dachshund.
That's a wiener.
Dachshund.
Dog.
Yeah, it's a wiener dog.
Whatever.
That's a wiener. That's like the actual name for a wiener dog.
Dogs. They're the things
ornery little fucks.
Well, the things I like about the things I like about dogs, which are like they're They're cuddly, they're cute, they're soft, and they can like jump around and stuff when you see them.
Yeah.
All of those things wiener dogs cannot do.
Wiener
and
dogs
probably
are hopeless.
corgis too.
Yeah.
Wiener dogs are not soft. They're not cuddly. They can't jump around all excited, and they probably bark weird.
They're
I'm just
intimidated
guessing.
by everything around them, which just makes them like mean.
Yeah.
This may be the dumbest opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. That's fine. I don't fucking care.
No, so I do like corgis.
real unraised
Do I want one?
reason.
No.
No.
Would my wife trip over it? Yes. Would
They're
I
little-
step
they're
on
little,
it? Yes.
They're little herd dogs. I mean,
They
they're
are.
probably great with kids.
Yeah, I've heard mixed
really?
reviews on them with kids.
Yeah,
Dachshunds are
well,
usually
so
pretty good with
that's
kids, though.
that's one of the, and maybe this is where my hatred of corgis, my dislike, I shouldn't say hatred.
Why not? You could-
Because they're fine dogs. It's
Yeah, you
not
did-
their fault.
Yeah, you did, David Koresh.
It's not
right?
their fault they were born into that situation.
Oh, come on. You're being too reasonable now.
No, but it actually got me thinking. What are animals that we just fucking hate for no reason? Like, do you have anything? I know you just said dachshunds, so you kind of took it away from.
Well, if I were to hate a type of dog, I would say that.
Yeah.
I don't really, but I
I
don't
hate
really.
chihuahuas.
Oh yes.
I
Most small dogs are just stupid.
don't. They just sit there and they
Didn't Ron Swanson say something like, "Why aren't
Small-
they just cats or something?"
Small dogs are basically dogs under 30 pounds are basically cats, and cats are pointless. I'm saying that as someone who has a cat. It's true though.
It's so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I would want like I like certain types of dogs more than others,
Yeah.
but like other than small dogs, I don't really like.
I really just
dislike-
don't like chihuahuas. They're pretty much the only kind of dog I just don't like. Like, when I see them, I'm like, no.
Is it that movie that made you hate them?
The Beverly Hills Chihuahua? No. Is it the Taco Bell commercials? No.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, no. It's
You
their.
mean you're not the voice of the Taco Bell dog?
So like with the the point you made against dachshunds, right?
Yeah.
Like I've at least seen a couple dachshunds that like are sweet and like let you pick them up and hold them.
Eh.
The chihuahuas just kind of sit there and like vibrate and shake, and then they fucking piss everywhere.
They've always had too much coffee.
Yes.
It's just how they are.
It's just,
I'm trying to think
that's
of-
just how they are.
I'm trying to think of other animals that I
That
really
you just
don't
despise
like.
for no reason. And just look at them like I
Birds
fucking
are
hate that thing.
assholes.
Yeah, my
Most-
wife doesn't like birds. I don't know if it's a dislike or she's afraid of them or both. But she doesn't
they're
like when.
so unpredictable.
That's the thing. What it is like when you walk in someone's house and they have a bird. It's
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
like upsetting. It's like
Are they gonna
what's
shit
it?
on me?
Unnerving.
Are they gonna squawk in my ear? Are they gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know if you've noticed this also, and I'm basically right now going to generalize an entire group of people.
Okay.
But you have dog people, then you have cat people.
Yeah.
Okay, cat people are. If you have a cat, I have a cat.
You have to be a certain type of person to get a cat.
Yeah, because you have to be okay with it just not giving a shit about you. Which
Right.
most people that own dogs aren't that way because they want somebody that's going to come up and say hi all the time.
right. That's why they don't have a cat.
Then you have bird people. Bird people are
Just
fucking. They're usually fucking weird.
just weird.
They're not quite horse people. Like I love horses.
Dude, horse people are.
They're horse people who don't have enough money to get a horse.
Because usually horse people are pretty spoiled. Usually, because if you're an adult and you finally you worked so hard to finally get a horse, that's one thing. But if
Yeah,
you're a kid
yeah.
that had a horse, it's
Yeah.
like that Seinfeld episode. I hate anyone who ever had a horse or a pony. I had a pony. And his nana died after that. But yeah, when you meet somebody who's a bird person. And they have like a bird cage, and then they have like little perches for it, little toys. It's a
Or
fucking
they let
weird
it fly
experience.
around the house.
Well, that's what I mean. If you're a bird
Yeah.
person, you let your bird fly around the house. Like there, I mean, if you
All-
keep it in
all
the
of them
cage,
do?
I would imagine. I don't know anybody who has a bird that
Then
never
yes,
lets it
they're
out.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though you know what's really crazy
To
is
let something like that who can shit on anything and do anything they want to fly, not just walk, but fly around your house. Like you wouldn't if you how many people who have dogs would have dogs if they knew that they could get on any surface in the house?
well, that's the thing is that's
keep them in the
basically what it
backyard.
is. Every time you have a
seen
puppy,
dog
that's
get on
basically
a
what it
kitchen
is.
counter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Having a puppy, that's
train
pretty
them
much
not
what it
to.
is.
You can't train a bird not to get on a kitchen
Yeah, you
counter.
can. Birds are trainable. Birds are actually pretty smart. Some of them.
I still think it's
I think the
crazy.
difference
It's freaking
between
no. It's
birds-
weird. Like you walk in the house and all of a sudden there's something on your head. Yeah, that's a little fucking weird.
Like I don't know. Were birds ever specifically domesticated to be pets?
I'm not. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Now we're crossing into knowledge territory.
Well,
here.
what's the difference between domesticated and trained? Is it the same thing?
Well, can you train a wild? I don't want to. This is more philosophical than I
But
was prepared to
specifically,
get.
fuck corgis.
Yep.
All right, fuck corgis.
Speaking of other things that we just hate for no reason. No, and it's not a no reason. But I know Jeff has particular feelings about virtual reality, and I was hoping that you could, you could humor us by sharing your love of it.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I don't know. Like, I think that. Well, I don't think VR itself is stupid. I think what people want VR to be is stupid. I think
People or corporations?
Both.
Okay. Because I mean, I know you're salty about Facebook owning Oculus.
Salty.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hate you right now.
I mean, they're
You're so salty.
so salty.
Next, he's gonna be
My
jello.
sailing levels are high.
God, I fucking hate that word.
So Facebook took Oculus, they bought Oculus, and they turned it into just like this. You can put on your VR headset and be in your friend's community virtually. I guess
That's
kind of
the
thing
dumbest
that they
thing
did.
I've ever fucking heard.
And it's I saw that and I saw pictures of it and I'm just like, why? Of all the fucking things to use VR for, why that? And I know that that's probably just like, oh, this is a concept, this is a proof of concept.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of fucking development time. Do
Right.
something good. Do something
Right.
interesting. Don't give me an extra extension of Facebook. And I think that's what actually bothers me about VR is it went from this tool to get you more immersed in a game.
Yeah.
And because they sold to Facebook, now I understand it's a lot of money and they wanted the money to be able to develop their software and hardware.
Yeah.
But you've become an extension of Facebook. And now the biggest spy agency that we willingly fucking offer our shit to is making shit to get you more involved in their fucking thing. And then the Oculus team is into it. They're like, look how cool it is to take a selfie inside virtual reality. Are you fucking kidding me?
Selfies sucked before they were in virtual reality.
Thank you. God damn it. I think selfies, like the narcissism level that we have as a society is bad enough. We have a goddamn podcast. How narcissistic are we?
Yeah.
So to take a picture of myself
I love
as
hearing my own voice.
What?
I love hearing my own voice.
Okay.
As a side note, did you hear the thing that Mark Zuckerberg, they like pulled up a quote from Mark Zuckerberg from like 10 years ago or something where he's like, I can't believe the things, the
That people
information
give me?
that people are giving to me.
Yep.
And he called them like, he
Stupid or
basically called
cheap
them
or
stupid.
yeah.
I thought that was funny. But so anyway, I have
Funny or terrifying?
Oh no. I thought it was funny that he would I don't know. Yes,
He said that and we're like, yeah, here's some more.
yeah. Yeah, no, that was just
I
the
think
beginning.
he crossed over. Well, this is my in perception of him is that he crossed over like the ethics line of what he was doing long ago.
Oh yeah.
And
He started
accepted-
out on the wrong side of the ethics line.
Yeah,
Right.
he was never in the right.
We talked about it on our social network episode,
Yeah.
episode 5.
Yeah. Okay,
Available
so
through Libsyn now.
so I have a Gear VR for my Samsung phone.
Okay.
Idiot.
Well, at least you're
and-
contributing to Samsung's terrible business practices.
Yeah,
Well,
there
not
So
Think
the
about
reason
what you're
I
doing, Gary,
here's the thing though, the reason
we
I
do.
bought it,
but with your dollars.
the reason I bought it is because I like the idea of like playing games that are like 3D and
Sure.
like feel like I'm in it and it's a fun thrill or
Yeah.
whatever. But you're right. I like connected it to my Facebook account and like there's an app where you can build your own apartment and then like have people visit it and like
It's
Eric's
Second
face
Life.
right now. And there's literally
can't sigh loud enough.
There's an actual Facebook app now where you can browse your newsfeed in VR.
Oh Jesus!
So what you're saying is instead of looking at my phone, I'm going to strap my phone to goggles and
Yep.
put them on my head so that I can scroll my Facebook feed in the fucking headset.
And read people bitching about politics.
Can we just be honest? The only realistically, the only real way that VR stands a chance is to develop a lot of porn.
Oh, yeah.
That's really where the money's
Yeah.
at. It's where the money's at.
Well, that's why
And
the
for-
internet was built.
Yes, and for that reason, I fully understand VR for that reason. If you're the type of guy that's like,
do with
hey,
this
you know what?
technology?"
I masturbate a lot. I want to improve my masturbation. I get it. Like, I'm like,
Improve
okay.
it?
Huh?
Improve it?
Yeah, if you go from staring at a thing, you're holding something.
No,
or
I
watching a TV. If you're like
the experience,
yeah. If you think it's a first angle POV kind of porn, if that's your thing, I can at least go. You know what?
I still watch Fuzzy Skinemax.
See, there you go. Yeah, you're like, oh, I think it's a boob. Oh no, it's a butt cheek. You know what I mean? Like, if that's your thing, if you're just trying to to be more efficient with your personal time, I can respect that.
Speaking of which, did you guys
hold on. But what I was hoping for, as someone who doesn't masturbate daily, I was really hoping. I was really hoping.
No context.
I was really hoping to be more immersed in a video game world. You know, I was really hoping to play a game, and I've tried a couple of demos.
Videos, or just fun videos, or
yeah. So we got to try the Oculus like 4 years ago, and I was like, cool, you're in this like kind of creepy room, or you're walking down these halls and a scary monster pops out. If this is what it starts like, imagine what this could be in 5 years. And 5 years from now, all I'm seeing is a couple borderline passable games that if you play for 20 minutes, you get sick, or Facebook apps. I mean, how is that all we've developed in 5 years? What the fuck's going on? Does that, I mean, in my head, I'm like, is Facebook kind of stalling what Oculus is able to do? Or, I mean, just to me, I mean, the only thing I've seen interesting in the last few years was the Star Wars Battlefront thing for the PS VR, where you were able to like fly the spacecraft and like shoot each other. Like that, at least like I was like, okay, that looks kind of cool. But until you're able to like, I want gamer. Like I want to be like the dude in Gamer,
right?
Where I'm like walking around and I have like a gun, you know, like going to town. But that doesn't look like it's coming.
That's like, there's always going to be games being developed for VR. That's not like going to stop. But it's like we have to deal with.
Maybe it will.
We have to deal with the.
Where did 3D go?
Yeah.
As one of the few people who actually enjoyed 3D, like now it's just done. Like I'm one of the few people that just watched it. I'm like I'm sad to see it go. I'm not saying every movie needs to be in 3D, but if it's used effectively, it can be really cool. Like next week, Terminator 2 is coming back in 3D. Yeah. James Cameron remastered it in 3D, which we should go see. But to see that movie in 3D could be fucking rad.
Wait, the second one or the first one?
Terminator 2.
Oh, okay.
With
then,
T-1000? Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's like, it's
That was fun.
I'm gathering my thoughts.
He's still thinking about the VR porn.
It's distracted now.
Yeah.
Are you putting your headset on, Gary?
I can still talk with it on.
When you do VR porn, do you try to find a penis that looks like yours? Or do you just is like you're like living a dream and that you have like this porn star penis?
Well, no,
that's a good question.
See,
girl
interesting questions.
Is what the decision comes from.
Yeah, but she's filleting something, like. Right? Or you're having sex in the VR porn.
I mean, if it doesn't like look like my penis, I don't know what. I wouldn't be able to do it.
If you do VR,
you're saying you wouldn't be aroused because it doesn't look like your penis.
If you're doing you're doing VR porn and the penis is black, is that like VR porn blackface?
Oh,
is that crossing lines?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my!
Digital blackface.
What is happening right now?
You're like, I'm not happy.
Let me get this back on track.
I'm really into interracial stuff.
Please let me get this back on track.
This podcast is becoming something completely different.
We're devolving. So
depends on how you look at it.
So VR did not start with like social like media aspects in mind. It started with games and
yeah,
it's been around like in some capacity since video games have been around. Like,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or at least
the direction
that
reality. the thing that kind of annoys me and pisses me off about it is it's, I want to have better games. Like I'd be interested in VR gaming. It's not something that like I'm super into. Like I don't really, I could give two shits.
Could you think of a situation in which you'd be like, if they did X in VR and did it right, you'd be like, okay, cool, I can get on board with that. Like I know you play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So if you were able, because you don't use first person mode in World of Warcraft, almost nobody does.
I think that would be terrible.
Exactly. So is there a situation in which you'd say, okay, like that, if they did that right, that's what I would do?
I could see some like shooters maybe.
Battlefield?
Yeah, Battlefield, like Call of Duty type games.
Yeah.
in that. But I don't know. I think the thing for me is, I feel like I would be just overly sensitized or
Like overstimulated.
Overstimulated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Just by the amount of crap going on in a VR video game versus like a normal video game.
My personal favorite use of VR, which is actually like a creative use of it and not just like a gimmick thing, is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which is a game where
the bomb game.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, so like
from you.
the person with the goggles on has like a bomb in front of them, and it has a bunch of puzzles on it.
Yeah.
And then the people who don't have the VR glasses on look at like how to decode those puzzles. And so it's like actually like it makes sense that someone wearing the goggles wouldn't see the answers, and
Yeah.
then, like
It is
like
actually fun.
It's like a
We've done that.
MacGyver
It's fun.
thing where
Yeah.
like you'd be talking over the radio.
Well,
or
I
something.
also think
So it's a creative use, and it actually makes sense for
Yeah.
VR, and it's not just like, like
I have
But it's also
seen-
small. It's basically an app. Like it's less like a full
But
fledged
I mean, if
game.
there were more people like developers who would like think of creative ways to use it.
I just
Yeah.
you know what I think would be fun? Like honestly, like if you had a Battlefield but you actually got to hold a gun. Like you hold
Right.
something that mimics a gun instead of the two handles.
Yeah.
Because all the games I see people playing on like
Right.
the Steam VR and things like that, they hold like two individual controllers. But I want something that feels like the gun I'm shooting the
I
game.
have seen
Or-
like this
or-
entire
Yeah.
rig.
Or I think boxing would be fun. Like if
that'd
you
be
had
cool.
little virtual gloves.
Yeah.
True.
Because you'd be getting a workout on top of it. But anyway,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
I have seen like a rig, like a VR rig, where you're actually on kind of a it wouldn't be 3D kind of treadmill.
Yeah.
Of,
yeah.
like, it's like this thing you're standing on,
And you wear special socks.
where you can actually run. You have this like harness on you, so that
so you don't fall.
yeah, so you don't fall, because that's the other biggest problem with VR is your spatial awareness is just gone.
yeah.
And that looked cool. And
Yeah.
you're wearing the goggles. You have like the gun. You can crouch and
So you really are like gamer at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's much more advanced. But I think the thing that I think is kind of cooler with VR that I would like to see more of is the kind of so I've seen a 3D modeling VR setup. So you're instead of just modeling on on a computer screen, you actually have the headset on and you're using the handle things, whatever,
Yeah.
to do modeling
Yeah.
in VR. Which
That's cool.
that looked really cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a smaller application of VR technology, but stuff like that is a much cooler thing to me than just like gaming or social networking crap. I've seen where they want to use VR for like training doctors.
See, that's actually what my point was going to be. Is
Right.
I actually just read this week, the 49ers are involved with that a lot
Yeah.
because Stanford's right there, and it's a big part of their training program. So the backup quarterback for the Niners right now, the rookie that they just drafted, did an additional 1,000 snaps of training this week as a quarterback through VR. So basically, the plays take place, and you're able to work on your reads, knowing which guys going to be open, what the routes are going to be. So instead of just reading a piece of paper and going, okay, and this route, this play, this receiver is going to run here, or this running back's going to be here, you're able to actually watch it take place with the receivers running and the running back. Now, I think
really
that's
cool.
fucking awesome.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've
That's
played
really cool.
Surgeon Simulator, and with a VR headset, that would be fucking intense as shit.
Right?
That'd be really funny. That'd be fun. So yeah, I mean, I think as long as they're still like creative and shit.
This is where we need the Jeopardy music.
I can't think of this fucking word. Pragmatic or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like
Pragmatic.
productive uses of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I don't have a problem.
I think
with it.
gaming should be an afterthought of
The
VR.
social thing will always be like attached to it, and they'll always try
I think
to like come up
social
with
should
some
just not
stupid-
exist in VR.
It shouldn't.
I don't.
But
social media as a whole could take a fucking
Yeah.
long walk off a short cliff.
But I mean,
old
it's like
nosedive
anything.
off the
You
cliff.
log into Facebook when you play Candy Crush. You log into Facebook
No, I
when
don't.
you do like Spotify. You don't have to.
No, but I know I purposely don't. But yeah,
still,
people do.
It's there, and that's like social media is attached to everything.
Don't you love that? It's like instead of having to remember your username and password, you can just use this other thing so that it accesses all of your things.
Yep.
Yeah. No, fuck that.
It's funny. Like I've downloaded some apps where it's like it asks you if it can access all this stuff, and I'll say deny, and there's
you can't do anything.
Yeah,
No,
there's no way to download the app if you say
use it.
deny.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay.
I'll just go fuck myself.
Fuck you.
Yeah, the age of like being able to just use programs without having to submit your information is dwindling away.
Well, do you guys hear about? I know we were close to wrapping up here, but did you guys hear about? I think it's the Tigers, Tigers or Bears. Oh my. Bill Burr was talking about on his podcast. Again, credit to Bill Burr. Apparently, if it's either the Detroit Tigers or Chicago Bears, you can submit your thumbprint as a form of payment or access to get into the gates, like for your tickets.
Really?
And he's like, why the fuck would you volunteer your fucking thumbprint to anything? Like,
It's already on your phone.
on your phone, I don't give my thumbprint to anybody. Like, I'm like, there are a few things that make you specific to who you are. And I'm not going to volunteer shit.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is you shrug your shoulders. I'm not that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next step is the people that volunteer for the implants to, okay, well, this is, you're going to be able to use that as a form of payment. Like we're getting close to that kind of shit.
Well, my viewpoint on that kind of stuff, and it may sound ignorant or naive or all of the above, but I don't give a shit.
Whatever, millennial.
If they're gonna have my data, if they're gonna know all this shit about me, then just whatever. I mean, I
think it's an all or nothing situation. Like you have to go. You really have to go for it if you're going to do it. Like I have some friends that work in like cybersecurity and white hat hackers kind of situation, and several of them are just like, I only use cash. I never use credit cards. I don't give my info. Like I always know where my information is. There's certain practices that keep you safer.
Right.
And there's small things I guess that you can do to keep your information secure, but most people don't know them. And I think a lot of software and a lot of companies don't present that to you in a way.
Unless you look for it.
Right. They make you look for it, or keeping things private on social media. Again, there's tools that companies Facebook has that you can use to kind of block information, but at the same time, like, how many people do you know that just don't understand that if you don't make it private, it's public?
Most people I know that especially anybody older than us, anybody I've run into, it's you have to make it private,
right?
Yeah, they really don't get that,
because the assumption is like, this is mine. This is my information.
Yeah.
Why is it public?
Yeah. There are even types of Facebook posts that are default to public, which is like, what the fuck?
And I know it's stupid of me to get so worked up about something so small, but that's like the one area where I'm like, I'm not submitting my fingerprints or DNA to anything. Like that's the one
biometrics. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the last little bit that I have. I know they know where I'm going. I know they Google tracks me. I know Alexa's listening, but the one thing that I do,
That's
like my fingerprints,
That's where you're gonna make a stand.
That's it, man. That's me, man. I'm fucking
die on this
I'm
hill.
Leonidas, motherfucker. I'm standing there, the body's piling up around me. You taking my fingerprints.
Thank you for listening to episode 21 of the Unreasonably Angry podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you, Jeff, for visiting and for guest starring on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Gracias.
Absolutely.
Not to appropriate culture, but gracias.
Bueno.
And if you enjoyed what you heard, or even if you disagree with it, please rate and review us on Facebook or iTunes and let us know what you think.
Well, if the episode actually pissed you off, then you should give it a good review, because that's the whole point. I mean, if it made you feel something, then that's what we want.
Exactly.
If you have thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, want to respond to the things that we talked about, please email us at unreasonablyangrypodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, my name is Eric.
And I'm Gary.
And this is Jeff.
Stay angry, fuckers.